Hi, I'm Cindy Cloward, and I'm excited to kick off our Riley Blake Designs Follow the Bluebird campaign. This campaign, we're inviting you to follow along and sew along as we sew with our new fabric collection, Hush Hush. It's created by many different designers, and it's a low volume collection that has creams, off-whites, and whites, and it makes a beautiful low volume background, just like in this quilt. So you can see how all the colors come together. It's very scrappy and fun, and we do all the work for you. So we will be showing 3 different techniques. All of our designers are going to be highlighting maybe a traditional block pieced on the machine, applique, or foundation paper piecing. I'm going to show you how to create a traditional pieced block. And the first thing you're going to want to do is go to Riley Blake Designs website under the free patterns and download the pieced bird block. And that pattern has everything you need to create this block. It has all the cutting instructions and the piecing methods that I'm going to show you today. So I have previously cut out all the pieces. I'm using a solid from our confetti cottons, 3 different colors for the beak, the feet, that's the wing color, and then the body of the bird. And then I used 13 different pieces from the Hush Hush collection because I really love the scrappy look of the creams, the whites, and the off-whites all together for the background, as you've seen here. And so the first thing you're going to do is mark them. Now I have used these alphabetties by It's So Emma, and they're very helpful to keep track of your blocks because once you cut them up, we have used each one of these has been assigned a letter of the alphabet, and if you got these little alphabetties, it's really great to keep track of all your pieces. So on the pattern, they're also assigned a number so you can see specifically of where each cut goes. So we're going to start assembling our bird. I'm going to move this bird over here, and let's start with the A. So I take that up, you know, this is a hair clip. They work great. I love these binding clips. They work awesome too. So whatever works for you. If a design board is perfect to keep it all together, and if it's not shifting, you don't even need clips. So the next thing you're going to do is going to take your S block, and you're going to mark it on corner to corner on the back side. Once you take that here, now there's really not a right or a wrong side to your solid dyed fabric, but there is on your Hush Hush. And a lot of times I give it a quick press. It's really nice to add heat because it kind of sticks all together, and I usually don't need to add a pin. And now this line that you've marked is going to be your stitch line. You're going to stitch from corner to corner, and then I'm going to show you how to press it again and where to cut. So let's go stitch. Okay, you're going to take that back. It's kind of the sew and flip method. You're going to line up. You're going to take a smaller ruler here. And you're just going to cut a 1/4 inch from the edge of your stitch line like that. Then you're going to flip it over like that. I do finger press. Then add a little heat. All right, I'm going to bring up another design board to start assembling my quilt block. Just going to adjust this over here. And then the next block, I'm going to take my B block, and I'm going to take my Q and my V. mark it corner to corner. It's the flip and turn method. You can kind of just check that real quick. I had that the wrong way, so it's good to check. Give it a quick press so it sticks together. Again, you're welcome to pin it, but I find this saves me a step if I press it on just like that. All right, flip them back. Looks good. So now we're ready to trim. Again, just 1/4 inch from your stitch line on both sides. Take it to the machine. I finger press back, both sides like that. Give it a quick press. Okay, that is the top of our bird, like that, making sure I'm getting it the right way. I think it goes that way. C goes with U. Oh, let me draw my lines. If you made a snowball quilt before, it's really just making a lot of snowballs. Check that. This one is also slightly offset. Like that, just so from corner to corner here. Okay, check that. That looks good. A trim off right there. Now there's a lot of little piecing, and I'm just flipping my seams to one side, but sometimes when they get super bulky, I will open up my seams, but you have a stronger block when they're flipped to one sides and don't open up your seams. All right, I'm gonna do my wing now. Now I already marked these corner to corner. Just like that. And this one is offset, you can see. So I'm going to give it a press so I don't have to pin. And I'm going to sew from corner to corner on the lighter block on both pieces. Okay, take it back. Make sure they're flipping the right way. That's just how we want the wing to look. So now I'm going to trim them 1/4 inch from my stitch line. So it looks like that. Give it a quick press. And our bird is just coming together one piece at a time. And this is the corner right here. And oh, I do need to mark that. Nope, I've already marked that one. So I'm going to check it like that. That is correct. So I'm going to sew it like that. You can just see, compare your pieces to the pattern. I'm going to sew from corner to corner. Okay, finger press it back, just making sure it's correct. Yep. Before you cut, I always check a couple times before you trim off. It's easier to re-sew than recut all your pieces. Give it a quick press like that. And our bird is coming together just like that. All right, the next thing we're going to work on is the beak and the feet. So H is the feet. So let's work on our feet. First we got this little P piece in between. We're going to take it to the machine, put right sides together, and sew down both sides, just like that. Okay, we got your two sides sewn on, just like that. Let's give it a press. Now the two sides that we add are an M and a K. So let's grab our M. Let's grab our K. K is slightly longer and M is slightly shorter. So make sure the K is on the right side, actually the left side. K is on the left, M is on the right. Okay, we're bringing it back. Those are our feet, cute little bird feet. They're pressed to the dark side, and then since it's such teeny little feet, on the outer side of the leg, I'm pressing to the light side. So I kind of press from the back, flip it over, make sure all my seams are pulled out a little bit, give it another press. Now the longer side is going to be on this side of the bird. It's not quite ready to assemble, but this unit is finished. We got to finish the other two units. Okay, so the next up is the beak. The beak is it's our last orange piece. Then we grab the N. I've already marked that corner to corner. And again, it's just going to be on the upper right side. And it's going to be offset like that. I'm going to sew corner to corner. Just give it a little press. Pull it in a little bit so I don't have to pin. All right, again, check one more time. It's right where I need it to be. I'm going to trim it off, flip up like this. And my stitching was off slightly, so I'm just going to square up the top of the orange part, just like that. You can adjust a little bit. So there is our beak. Goes like that. Now I need my O piece, because that's going to go on top. So right sides together. I'm going to sew a 1/4 inch seam allowance right there on the top. Okay. Just going to finger press it there. Again, sometimes I open up my seams, but it's always better to try not to open up your seams because it gives your block more strength when it's turned to the side. Okay, And then the last part is along here. Okay, so I'm just gonna look at my pattern real fast. And I'm gonna stitch this section together to make a unit, and then this section together to make a unit. Okay, let me press that open. And our bluebirds coming together so nicely. So again, I love these design boards so it can keep track of all your shapes. And you just work on one section at a time. Now this is kind of, this V is coming together, and I've kind of pressed them opposite so I can click them into place, just like that. I'm gonna grab a pin, kind of nest those seams together so that's ready to go. And pin it just like that. Okay, you can open it up. Now this is where I would probably open up my seam because there's a lot of bulk. Again, you can turn it to one side, but since it's so bulky, I'm going to open up my seam like that. Give it a press. This one, I am not going to open up my seam. I'm going to press to one side. Instead of pin, since it's a little block, it's all lined up. Gonna press here. Okay, now these two units can be sewn together. So these two seams right here need to be nestled and lined up. So I'm going to do a lot of pinning right here. Okay, we're going to sew these two units together and our bird's coming together. Give it a quick press before you open it up. I just love this part, seeing how the bird gets formed one piece at a time. He's looking better and better. Okay, the last piece on the bird body I need to add is the R. So that is going to put right side together. And this one's a really light piece. So make sure you got the right side. I'm gonna pin that on. Okay, let's sew that down. Okay, let's give it a press. Open up that side. Let's take a look. We're going to add the legs now. And if things are just off a little bit, it's okay. You're going to just tug and pull and stretch a little bit to get it just right. Because we know your two sides should line up just like that. So the two sides are lining up. So we just give it a little tug because my bird body seems to be slightly smaller. And then I'm going to put a pin in the middle between the 2 feet, and it's good to go. So I'm going to give it a little tug as I'm sewing. Okay, let's press it, open it up. Look at those cute legs of the bird. So that looks very nice. The last thing we're adding is our J piece to the very top. Right sides together. I'm going to just trim slightly because I'm off just a little bit. Again, it's really important to have accurate 4th inch seam allowance, but if you're off slightly, the bird body is going to be either a little bit bigger or a little bit smaller. And in my case, it's slightly smaller, but it's such a small amount. I'm just going to tug and pull like that and make this top piece fit with the bottom. Okay, let's take it to the machine and sew our last seam. All right, let's give it a good press. Open it up. Oh, this bird is looking so cute. All right, we're going to move this to the side. Let's take a look. Everything's looking good. The very last thing I'm going to do is square up my block to 8.5 inches using this trim up ruler. Take a look. I have a little extra on these sides, so let me just trim it up. Flip it over. Just ever so slightly. I have extra fabric on the outside. And your traditional Riley Blake bird block is finished. Congratulations if you made this block. It's an intermediate block. It's not super easy, but if you take it step by step, you'll have nice results. So next up is Jill Finley, and she's going to take you through a way to make the bluebird the applique piecing method.